Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Samuel Leggy here representing TeamJVS. I'm back here again for another movie review. This is a movie that has been talked about throughout all the different festivals and soon to be, come award season, probably be in contention for Oscar. This was directed by Julia Cordeau, and this film was one that I was highly anticipating, between this and the tragedy of Macbeth, because I just really didn't know what to expect, but I knew it was going to be something insane, because I knew that this director, Julia, had directed Raw. And the only thing I can say is that this was an amalgam of all these different things: murder, love, tragedy, entrapment, betrayal, science fiction, horror, all those different things just make up small little labels of what the masterpiece that this movie is. I had an emotional reaction after finishing watching the film, and it wasn't because I just saw something gross. Yes, there are gross things. This is beyond rated R. Like, there is sexual content, there's gory content, there's mutilation, self-mutilation, there is drug usage, there's inferred sexual situations, so many different things that are just bad. But that wasn't what made me sick. It was the fact that there's so much happened throughout the course, from the beginning to the end of this film, that I felt like, you know how like you get on a roller coaster ride and the roller coaster ride just took you for all this right here. And initially I was kind of like, man, this movie is just so sick and it's just so deranged. That's why I feel this way. But like, no, like I literally went and my body was kind of just being shaken around. I just didn't know it. It's on an eternal level that, for me as a critic and me as a fan of cinema, went through this. And there's very few films that give me an actual physical reaction of nausea. I have never had that happen before. But again, so the baseline of this, just to give a brief synopsis of it, you have a main character, and Agathe, Roselle's character, Alexia, you first see her when she's younger, and you find out like her relationship with her family, her relationship with her dad, and something happens, and that's where, you know, certain things about her start to change. Then fast forward, you know, when she's a little bit older and she's, you know, looking that she's a dancer and she's dancing around cars, but then she's also got some other things about her that you just don't know. And it's two distinct things. It's not just like, oh, okay, she's just weird, she's out there, or she's just wrong or whatever. Like, no, like there's two specific things. One thing, I personally, as a critic, watched this film, cannot tell you how it makes sense. This is where the science fiction part is. This right here, this is a spoiler-free review. I'm going to try to go and break this down more with Lucas when Lucas goes and see it. Hopefully he gets to see it. But this right here, I cannot describe to you what or how it makes any sense. This is just straight sci-fi. Then the other side of this is like, this is the horror. This is the sycophantic, psychological, messed up side of how sadistic this movie can actually be. The other thing about this is this is beautiful, bro. Like the camera angles and the shots and the cinematography are some of the best I've seen this year, which I'm surprised by. Because even the smallest, simplest scene, there's a scene where the main character, like I said, Alexia is trying to defend herself. Like, she's trying to fight and defend herself. And the camera literally follows her in certain angles and ways that just don't make sense. But it's shot well, and it's choreographed well, and it's believable. And there's another scene that happens early on, and it takes place in a car. Well, actually, it's two different things that happen in a car. One, I will not speak of, and oh, goodness. The other thing is that, you know, there was a fan that wanted to greet her, and that interaction, which is a believable one, it had this turn that happened so quickly. And again, the movie prides itself off of these turns. There are moments. There's a moment where, like I said, the character Alexia, she's at a airport, and she decides to do something in a bathroom, and like the tension and the build and the cinematography of how it's shot and how it actually is done, is how it's acted, is I mean, it's phenomenal, bro. Like it is sick. It's not just wild, it's not just out there, it is sick. And I'm not using that word loosely, I mean it. Vincent Lindon, that plays the role of Vincent literally in the movie, his character came off as one of those characters. I'm like, what is this dude? Like, what is going on? And I didn't really truly understand. Because the character kept on, calling, Agatha's character a certain thing. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. What am I missing here? What happened? Right? And then you start to understand how his situation unfolds, what he does. Bro, every single time there's a scene with him in a bathroom or at a mirror, like his acting level is top notch. Like he is going for it. And you don't know where the source of the pain is, but you understand that there's some stuff that's not right. And it's weird because you have two different characters that there's distinct things that are not right, but then they work at the same time, like they work symbiotically. And again, there are different characters in this. Like there's a character named Adrian that, he develops an attachment with one of the characters, and that attachment is also deadly, and he doesn't understand how vulnerable it could put him or anybody else. And it's just so many different things that are being thrown at you that you're not going to be able to be prepared for, nor are you going to be able to dodge, because there's moments of dark humor in this as well. Like, I mean, as much as this is a emotional roller coaster, there are some sincere scenes. There's some loving, wholesome scenes that are so pivotal to what human interaction is all about. But then the deprived, sick, and messed up side of humanity is also showcased in a deeper, specific way very early on in the film. Again, the other side of this, the survival aspect. Now, the survival aspect where it gets really into the horror side of it, because some of the scenes that are I'm speaking on the horror, like, are just disgustingly sick, and it's like traumatizingly torturous. And I don't know how to verbalize that any other way. Traumatizingly torturous. And it's not just one character that does go through that. It's other characters as well. The other thing is that the soundtrack is freaking amazing. The soundtrack is so freaking good. The soundtrack works with the sound design, because there's a scene where the character Vincent, he's in the bed and he's got a lighter, right? He's flipping the lighter, stopping it. Flipping the lighter, stopping it. And the way the shot is happening, you can't see anything until the lighter flips, and then it goes out and goes dark. He's going out and go dark. But there's something else going on the backside with another character. And they play with that so much. And again, there are secrets that I can't explain. This right here is the secret that I cannot explain to you. It makes no sense. It's straight up science fiction. And they take the science fiction and they don't use that as the catalyst. They just have it there. And from a directing standpoint, that is masterclass. Because normally you use the science fiction as a catalyst to maneuver the plot. And yes, there are certain science fiction elements that are happening, but they don't go and expound on them. They don't go into the specifics of the why. Like, it's just happening, and you are having to accept and deal with the ramifications of it. This is a 10 out of 10 film. One of the weirdest, most sick films I've seen. I don't know, and I said this before in my early reaction, I don't know that I will see this film again. If I do see it again, it is specifically for research purposes on a cinematic level, or to go into deeper dive, a breakdown of what I saw in the process, what it actually means, and how it actually is. And I think that this is not for everybody. This is not a movie that everybody's going to want to see or should see. But if you are a cinephile, like you do love cinema, watch this film. I am gone. I'll talk to you guys much later. We've got a lot of reviews coming from different film festivals, as well as some things that are up and coming. And I appreciate your time. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it. And I would love to hear your comments if you've seen Titane, because it should be out right now. All right, you guys, keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Peace, guys.